Ever thought about sharing your passion for electricity, with the next generation? Like actually lighting up their futures, literally.
Literally, yeah.
We're diving deep into becoming an electricity and energy vocational teacher.
Great topic.
And we've got some really cool stuff here from RoleCatcher.
Oh, RoleCatcher, they're great.
Yeah, a platform that can really, supercharge your job search.
Oh, sure, for sure.
So it's not just about circuits and wires.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's way more than that. You're guiding someone into a profession that's like essential. I mean, think about how we live and work. Electricity is everything.
It's the backbone, right? Especially with all this renewable energy stuff happening.
Absolutely. The whole energy landscape is changing, and these teachers, they're going to be in such high demand.
Yeah, I was just reading that in RoleCatcher's career guide, they're predicting a huge surge. And it makes sense. Everyone needs a good electrician, even more so now with solar power and all that.
Exactly. And that's what makes this kind of teaching so cool. You're not just teaching theories out of a textbook. You're giving students actual practical skills. Skills that are in high demand that can get them jobs.
Real world stuff. Yeah.
Real world stuff. Think about it. You could be the one who helps someone build a solar farm.
Wow. Or wire a smart home.
Or even design the electrical grid of the future. It's incredible.
Okay, now that's what I call impactful. But it's not all futuristic tech and clean energy, is it? This RoleCatcher guide also mentions classrooms, labs, workshops,
Oh, yeah, the hands-on stuff.
even potential exposure to hazards.
Well, yeah, there's always that, but that's part of what makes it exciting, right?
Totally. It's that hands-on element that gets me fired up.
Absolutely. It's not just about reading about electricity. It's about feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The hum of a live circuit. Troubleshooting a real wiring problem.
Yeah.
Understanding the power literally in your hands.
Right. But with that comes responsibility.
Oh, for sure. Huge responsibility. You've got to be so safety conscious, it's paramount. But think about it. You're instilling those essential safety habits in your future students. You're making sure they can go out there in the real world and work confidently and safely.
So true. So true. You're not just a teacher. You're a mentor.
Exactly. Passing on skills that are not only in demand, but essential for their safety and success in this field.
Totally. But how does someone even start down this path? I was looking at the academic requirements in the guide, and I was surprised by the variety.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sure, electrical engineering makes sense, but they also list renewable energy, physics.
Physics. What?
Yeah, even instructional design.
It's like they're saying, come on in, the water's fine. There's so many different ways to become a vocational teacher.
Yeah, it seems like a really diverse skill set is welcome.
Exactly. Because you need to understand the why behind the what. And then you've got to figure out the best way to make it click for someone else. That's where the instructional design comes in. You're designing engaging lessons, hands-on activities.
Crafting the whole experience.
Yes, and it's about understanding how people learn best, especially when it's hands-on, practical skills like this.
It makes you wonder about all the different backgrounds that could be beneficial. You could come from a tech background, an engineering role, even teaching in a completely different field, and still have transferable skills.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not about having all the answers right. It's about knowing how to guide someone, to help them find those answers themselves.
You got it. It's about lighting the way.
It's like you're this guide, leading them to the world of electricity. And speaking of guiding, there was this thing in the RoleCatcher guide in the functions and core ability section. It said that reading comprehension is super important for this job, really important.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 70%. Can you believe that? 70%.
70%. Wow, that's a lot. I mean, it makes sense when you think about it.
It kind of doesn't seem like it would at first, though, right?
Right, you think it's all hands-on, right?
Yeah.
Wires and circuits.
Exactly.
But you've got to read complex technical manuals, and then there are industry codes, safety regulations, all that stuff. It changes all the time, too.
Constantly updating.
And then, let's be real, sometimes you've got to decipher what a student was even trying to do. Their wiring attempts,
Oh, totally. It's like their own language sometimes.
Exactly. So yeah, 70% for reading comprehension makes sense. You're not just reading to learn, you're reading to teach.
That's a really good point. To translate all that technical jargon into something students can understand.
Yes. And not just understand, but get excited about.
Make it come alive.
Exactly. And the thing is, this field is constantly changing, right? New tech, new energy sources, new challenges popping up all the time. So you, as the teacher, you need to stay ahead of the curve. And that takes some serious reading.
It's like you're this bridge between what's in the textbook and what's happening in the real world.
Yes, you're making sure your students are prepared for the jobs that don't even exist yet.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is.
Speaking of preparation, can we circle back to RoleCatcher for a sec?
Sure. What about it?
Well, it seems like this platform was made for someone who's serious about, making a career change, like becoming a vocational teacher.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. It's like having a personalized career coach right on your computer.
It's like having a whole team in your corner, honestly. They've got job postings, resume help.
AI-powered resume analysis. Don't forget that part.
Right. It's incredible. And then they have this interview prep that's unbelievable.
The interview practice is amazing. It's so helpful. They have thousands of potential questions, all specific to this type of job, teaching at a vocational school.
Seriously. It's like they've thought of everything. They even have this thing called RoleCatcher, Capture. You can just click and save job postings from anywhere.
Oh, yeah. I love that feature. It's so convenient.
It's a game changer, really. But it's that interview prep that I think is really key, because you can go into those interviews feeling confident, prepared.
Totally. You can articulate your vision, your passion for teaching.
Show them you're the real deal.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think RoleCatcher really gets that, that becoming a vocational teacher, it's not just a job, it's a calling.
It's about sharing your passion with the next generation, passing the torch.
And making a real difference in the world.
Speaking of making a difference, there was this one line in the career guide. It said something like, adapting your teaching to student capabilities.
Yeah.
And that really resonated with me.
Oh, absolutely. That is so important. It's one thing to know electrical theory inside and out, but can you teach it?
Right.
Can you break it down for a room full of students, each with their own learning style, their own background?
An experience level, even. Some might have more experience than others. It's fascinating. And it makes me wonder, how much would that teaching style need to change depending on the specific trade you're teaching?
That's a great question.
Like, is teaching aspiring electricians completely different from teaching, say, those who want to install solar panels?
Mm.
I mean, the work environments are totally different, right? Like high voltage power lines versus someone's roof putting in solar panels.
You got it. Totally different ball game.
Hmm.
And the hazards are different. The tools, even the career paths those students are looking at.
Worlds apart.
Exactly. So you have to understand all those little differences, tailor your teaching, the examples you use, even the demos you do. It all has to fit the trade they're going into.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like for electricians, you might get into how to wire a huge office building, all the details there.
The big stuff.
Yeah. But with solar installers, you'd focus on how solar panels actually convert sunlight to energy, how to design those systems.
Right.
And safety is a whole other thing. Teaching someone to handle live high-voltage wires is way different from teaching them to be safe on a roof.
It's wild how much variety there is within this one job title, Electricity and energy vocational teacher. It can go in so many directions.
No doubt. And that's why staying connected to the industry is so important for these teachers. It's not just about the textbook. You've got to bring in what's actually happening out there,
The real world stuff.
Exactly. New technologies, what employers are looking for, maybe even take the students on field trips, show them what it's really like.
That would be awesome. I would love that in school.
Right. It's about making it real for them,
Right.
showing them that what they're learning, it matters. It has an impact.
It's not just theories in a vacuum.
Not at all. And honestly, that's the magic of this whole career path. You're not just a teacher. You're shaping the future. You're preparing them not just for a job, but for a career they can be proud of.
In a field that's only getting bigger.
Exactly. It's essential. We need electricity. We need energy. And these students, they're the ones who are going to be keeping the lights on, pushing things forward.
Love it. It really makes you realize how important education is, and not just like memorizing facts, but really empowering people.
100%. You're giving them the tools to build a better future, literally.
One circuit, one solar panel at a time.
That's it.
Well, we've thrown a lot of information at you today, haven't we? But that's where those RoleCatcher resources come in. Those are your tools now.
Seriously, dive into those, especially the interview questions.
They're gold. They make you think about teaching in a whole new way, like what's your style, how would you handle this situation, that kind of thing.
It's all about helping you figure out your own approach, because teaching, it's personal,
It really is. But on that note, we should probably let you get back to exploring those resources.
Yes, get in there.
Thank you so much for joining us on this electrifying deep dive. I think we can call it that, right?
Yeah.
Electrifying.
Absolutely. It's been a blast.
And for everyone listening, as you continue your own research, here's something to think about. The energy world is changing every day. New tech, new problems to solve. So how can you, as a future teacher, not only keep up with all that, but prepare your students to do the same? How can they be the innovators? Something to think about as you start this amazing journey. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.